think the hardest job is coexisting with people. I think that's the hardest job that we face every single day, because we all grow up in our own little worlds and own little parents and guardians and lack thereof and role models, and those situations, they form us and they determine who we become, and through that we become different and we create these preferences, whether it's your diet, whether it's your hobbies, whether it's your sleeping schedule, your work, your passions, your dislikes. And when you try to come together with people, often those preferences, those opinions, they clash. And working through that is the hardest thing we have as people every single day, because we just can't seem to find equilibrium. You know, we have different religions, different schools, different jobs, different cars, different desires. And those differences is what makes it so difficult to coexist. We see this. We see this across the entire globe. We see this in war. We see this in divorce. We see this in simple family matters. We see this in friendships. So the hardest thing, I think, in the entire world is coexisting. The hardest job, the hardest duty, the hardest responsibility. And now you ask, how do you get out of it? How do you coexist, right? Well, a simple answer would be find the people you share similarities with. Find the people who share the same values. But what's interesting about that is that even if you find the people who share the same values, you still will differ. You'll be different. You'll have different desires. You will clash. That is why being in a relationship is so tough for people, right? You form your own habits, you form your own world, and you try to invite someone in, and oftentimes it doesn't work because you're not able to communicate through it. You're not able to compromise. You're not able to even discuss what possibly you could work on together to coexist better. I think that's our hardest problem in humanity, and forever will remain it. And one of the reasons I've been so into agriculture over these last few years is because I truly think it's the only thing that unites us. You gotta eat, and everyone wants to eat well, even if they don't think they want to eat well, even if they want to eat their Doritos and their McDonald's and unhealthy, processed food. I think deep down they don't want to carry this extra weight around. No, nobody wants that. It just happens based off where you grow up, what your economic situation is, what you have been brought up into. And the reason agriculture, and I think actually the reason why the division has increased over the years is because agriculture has become less and less part of our lives. No one knows where their food comes from. No one, when I say no one, I don't mean everyone. I should clarify that. I just mean a lot of people do not know where their food comes from. A lot of people don't know how to grow their food. A lot of people don't even understand what compost is. Most people, it seems like a lot of people are just afraid of the outside of the Mother Nature. So we've developed a need for this big agriculture, which then now separates us even more because we're not sharing meals. We're not working together anymore. We're all in these little knowledge worker silos that we all think is important because we're distributing information, while the information that we've missed over the last several decades has been, how do you grow the food? How do you spiritually align yourself with the earth? How do you find balance within yourself, within your relationships, and within your community? And the answer is agriculture. But when we separate ourselves, we lose that vital pillar of life. And a lot of people think farming is really hard and tough. And I think physically, sure, it's tough. But I think if you train, I think your body can handle it. And I don't think you should necessarily be farming, breaking your back for farming. We have plenty of tools and knowledge to do it the right way, safely, and take care of your body. It doesn't have to be this exhaustion. It doesn't have to be this all-out, all or nothing kind of idea, which I think a lot of people have when they think about agriculture now, because they don't know. They haven't experienced it. They haven't read about it. And even when they do, it's usually something negative, like farmers don't make enough money anymore, or farmers are all talking about their body problems, and farmers are not able to support their families. And so these narratives, they get stuck in our head, and instead we'd rather go to the grocery store 4 or 5 times a week to get our meals that aren't even really that great for us. Now, does everyone need to farm? I don't think so. There's plenty of other economic systems that we can create. Should everyone know a farmer? I think so. I think you should care. You should want to understand where your food comes from, because what you eat is what you become. And we see that in the health problem all across this country. So the reason why I want to get into agriculture, take that next step. I've been participating maybe on the economic side, trying to buy as healthy foods as possible, trying to find local meats. But what I want to do next is actually learn and put my hands in the dirt. And I've done that on a small scale, backyard work with my father, raking leaves and picking weeds. But I think there's something different when you start feeding people and you start treating the harvest and honoring the harvest. Because I think we've lost honor. We've lost honor in this system of big agriculture. And I think the only way to get back to a place where we have a system that's sustainable, that's at equilibrium, that's carbon neutral, is to create food in a way that's based off Mother Nature's system. We don't want to factory farm anymore. We want to let the cows graze our land. We want to introduce the bison back into the wildlife and let them grow and populate, and so we can once again hunt our food in a way that's sustainable, and forest and all these beautiful things that I think are super possible. I think these narratives that I think are often coming from big media, that food and farming is a terrible industry to get into, is what's killing our future. It's destroying our youth. But I have hope, because I have spoken to people my age all across the world, and farming has now kind of come back. It's coming back into interest, and I think, as a lot of people always say, history ebbs and flows and often repeats itself. And I think we're on a on our way towards a future where people are aware of where their food comes from. We're not just going to grocery stores and not even reading the back of our boxes and just taking for whatever someone says on the front, natural, organic. These words have been completely manipulated, and it's a damn shame because we really need to care about our food.